stop. Before you close this tab, I need you to hear one sentence. Every single creator I respect, the ones making six figures on YouTube, the ones whose travel videos make you want to quit your job, every single one of them had the same camera shortlisted for 2026. And it was not this one. Then Insta360 dropped the Luna Ultra, and overnight, those shortlists changed. Now, I want to be very honest with you right from the start. This is not a sponsored video. Nobody paid me to say any of this. What I'm about to share is a complete, no-fluff breakdown of why the Luna Ultra has genuinely shaken up the creator camera world, and more importantly, whether it deserves your money. Because at $780 for the body alone, a price now confirmed directly by Insta360's own CEO, it better be worth every single cent. So here is what I need from you. Stay with me until the end. Because around the 10-minute mark, I'm going to tell you something about this camera that almost nobody is talking about, and it might be the single most important thing you need to know before you decide to buy it or completely skip it. Deal? Let's go. Why this camera actually matters. To understand why people are so excited about the Luna Ultra, you need to understand the problem it's trying to solve, because that problem has been frustrating creators for years. Here is the truth about pocket gimbal cameras. They are incredibly convenient. You throw them in your jacket pocket, you pull them out, and you get smooth, stable footage wherever you go. But for a long time, convenience came with a brutal cost. Small sensors, overprocessed video, zero optical zoom, no real control over your color grade. Footage that looked fine on a phone screen but fell apart the moment you opened it in a proper editing suite. DJI came the closest to fixing this with the Osmo Pocket series. The Pocket 3 was genuinely impressive, but even then, serious creators kept running into the same ceiling. There was only so much you could do with the hardware. The sensor was good, not great. The zoom was digital, meaning it just destroyed your image quality. And the shooting experience, while polished, felt rigid. You got what DJI decided to give you, and that was that. Insta360 looked at all of that frustration, looked at what creators were actually asking for across Reddit threads and YouTube comment sections and creator forums, and they decided to build something completely different. Not just an upgraded pocket camera, something that tries to fundamentally rethink what a compact creator camera should be able to do. Whether they actually pulled it off is the entire story of this video. Design and first impressions okay, let's talk about what this thing actually looks like. Because the moment the first real images of the Luna Ultra leaked online, the comment sections went absolutely wild, and not in a boring way. Half the people said it looked like something out of a science fiction movie. The other half called it the most over-designed camera they had ever seen in their life. And honestly, both sides were right. This is not a camera that sits quietly on a shelf. It demands attention. It has this aggressive, almost modular look to it, sharp angles, a split body design where the grip and the camera module feel like two separate pieces locked together, and a front face dominated by dual lenses staring at you like it already knows it's better than everything else in the room. The detachable 2-inch-old touchscreen remote attaches to the grip and feels, at first glance, like a gimmick that a product designer added at the last minute to fill up a press release. But the more you watch creators actually use it in demo footage online, the more that opinion starts to shift. Because what looks strange in product photos makes surprisingly real sense when you see it in action. And I will break that down in detail when we get to the stabilization section. What I will say right now is this. Insta360 made a deliberate choice with this design. They were not trying to make the most universally appealing pocket camera. They were trying to make a camera that looked like it belonged in the hands of the kind of creator who takes their craft seriously. Whether that aesthetics first approach translates into real-world usability is the question that matters most. The sensor and Leica optics. This is the section that camera nerds have been waiting for. So let me make this crystal clear even if you have never thought about sensors in your life. The Luna Ultra uses a 1-inch main sensor. Now that number sounds small. 1 inch. But in the world of compact cameras, 1 inch is enormous. Most smartphone cameras and older pocket gimbal cameras use sensors that are a tiny fraction of that size. The sensor is the part of the camera that actually captures light, and the bigger it is, the more light it can collect. More light means better performance in dark environments. More light means cleaner shadows that do not look like gray mush. More light means a wider dynamic range, which is the difference between a sky that looks real and a sky that looks completely blown out and white. But Insta360 did not stop at just putting in a bigger sensor. They partnered with Leica. And if that name does not mean anything to you, here is the short version. Leica is arguably the most respected optics brand on the planet. Their lenses are used in some of the most iconic photography in human history. They are the company that Porsche owners buy cameras from. Having Leica co-engineer the optics on your pocket camera is not a marketing stunt, it is a genuine signal that the people building this camera care about image quality at a fundamental level. Early technical reports suggest the Luna Ultra can achieve approximately 14 stops of dynamic range. For context, a standard smartphone in a good situation might hit around 12 stops on its best day. 14 stops means you can shoot a scene with a very bright sky and very dark shadows, the kind of shot that normally forces you to compromise one or the other, and actually capture detail in both simultaneously. That is cinema-level capability in a device that fits in your hand. If those numbers hold up in real-world testing, this sensor alone justifies the conversation. Dual camera system, all right. Here is where things get genuinely interesting, and where the Luna Ultra starts separating itself from everything else in its category. Most pocket gimbal cameras have one lens, one field of view. If you want to get closer to your subject, you physically walk closer, or you use digital zoom, which basically just crops into your image and makes everything look like a potato. That limitation has frustrated travel creators and vloggers for years, because the world does not always cooperate. Sometimes your subject is far away, sometimes you cannot move closer, sometimes the shot only works from a distance. Insta360 put two cameras in the Luna Ultra, a wide-angle primary camera, an 18mm equivalent wide lens, and a dedicated secondary telephoto module running a 1.3-inch sensor at 70mm equivalent with an f2.8 aperture. According to leaked spec sheets confirmed through NAB 2026 coverage, the telephoto module delivers approximately 3.9 times optical zoom, which extends to 6 times lossless zoom through an in-sensor crop, and up to 12 times hybrid zoom for situations where you need maximum reach and can accept a modest quality trade-off. This is not simple digital zoom that just crushes your image into pixels. The 3.9 times optical component uses real glass, delivering a real optical result, and the lossless zone keeps quality clean right up to 6 times. Here is why this matters in real life. Imagine you are filming at a concert. You are standing at the back of the crowd. With a standard pocket camera, your only option is to crop in digitally and accept the visual degradation. With the Luna Ultra, you switch to the telephoto lens, keep your optical quality clean, and you get a shot that actually looks like you were standing right at the front. Or imagine you are filming a street food video and the chef is working at a distance. You can now hold a beautiful compressed background shot that makes the scene look cinematic instead of just wide and flat. This dual camera approach is borrowed from what smartphones have been doing for years, but nobody has seriously put it inside a dedicated pocket gimbal camera before. That gap in the market is exactly where the Luna Ultra is planting its flag. The Filmmaker's checklist. Let me walk you through the recording capabilities of this camera, because when you put them all together, the list reads like someone wrote down everything serious creators have been asking for and then just said yes, all of it. Let's build it. Start with 10-bit color recording. If you shoot and edit casually and just export straight from your camera without much grading, 10-bit versus 8-bit might not change your life dramatically. But the moment you start color grading your footage in any serious way, pulling shadows up, recovering highlights, shifting color temperatures, creating a cinematic look, 10-bit footage is the difference between footage that holds together beautifully and footage that breaks apart and looks banded and artificial. Luna Ultra records in 10-bit with iLog profiles, that is Insta360's version of flat log recording, co-calibrated with Leica's color science that captures maximum tonal information and gives you the most flexibility in post. Add Dolby Vision HDR support on top of that, and you have footage that, when played back on a compatible screen, delivers color and brightness that genuinely looks different from standard video. Not just slightly better visibly, noticeably richer. Then there is the 4K at 240 frames per second specification, which I want to spend a moment on because it is frankly absurd for a camera this size. 240 frames per second at 4K resolution means you can shoot slow-motion footage at a quality level that used to require cameras costing 5 to 10 times more. A wave crashing, a dancer spinning, a car drifting through a corner. At 10 times slow motion, with 4K resolution to work with, those shots take on a completely different weight and emotional quality. If Insta360 delivers this without excessive overheating or image cropping, it becomes one of the strongest arguments for the Luna Ultra that exists. And then there is 8K recording. Unlike the vague rumor it was a few months ago, leaked spec sheets confirmed after NAB 2026 point to a genuine 8K CMOS sensor at the core of this camera. I will be honest, honest, most creators will never use 8K in their daily workflow. Storage requirements alone make it impractical for regular use, and the file sizes will test even fast SD cards. But having the capability means you are working with enormous headroom for cropping and reframing in post, and it signals that the camera's hardware is built with serious processing headroom rather than just meeting the minimum bar. The solo creator's secret weapon. I want to tell you something that I think gets lost in all the spec discussions around this camera. The best camera in the world is useless if you cannot physically operate it the way your creative vision requires. And this is where the Luna Ultra does something genuinely clever that I think is being seriously underestimated. The 3-axis gimbal stabilization in the Luna Ultra is, by all early accounts, exceptional. Walking shots look smooth. Fast movements are handled without the jitter that cheaper stabilization systems introduce. Tracking shots have that fluid, cinematic quality that makes footage feel expensive rather than handheld. That is expected at this price point, and it delivers. But the detachable touchscreen remote is the piece of this puzzle that I want you to really think about, because when I first saw it, I dismissed it. It looked like a marketing stunt, a quirky feature designed to make for a good thumbnail rather than to actually improve anyone's creative process. Then I started paying attention to how solo creators were actually interacting with it in demo footage, and the use case clicked immediately. You place the Luna Ultra on a surface or a small tripod across the room. You hold the remote in your hand. From the remote, you can monitor your own framing in real time, adjust camera angles remotely, start and stop recording, and potentially use the remote's built-in microphone to capture your voice. You essentially become your own camera operator. For a solo vlogger, travel creator, or documentary filmmaker working alone, that is a completely different level of creative freedom. You are no longer guessing at your framing and hoping the shot worked. You are not constantly running back and forth between the camera and your subject position. You are directing yourself in real time. That one feature, executed well, could make the Luna Ultra genuinely irreplaceable for a specific type of creator, and it is a feature no competing camera currently offers in this form. Trust, risk, and gen problem okay. I promised you at the beginning of this video that around the 10-minute mark, I would tell you the one thing almost nobody is talking about. Here it is. All of these features, the sensor, the Leica optics, the dual cameras, the remote, the 10-bit recording, the slow motion, none of it matters if the camera does not work reliably in the real world over time. And that is the honest, uncomfortable truth about the Luna Ultra right now. This is Insta360's first serious attempt to directly compete with DJI in the Pocket gimbal space. And first-generation products, regardless of how impressive their spec sheets look, always carry risk. Always. DJI's dominance in this category was not built on the first Osmo Pocket. It was built over years of firmware refinements, thermal management improvements, autofocus tuning, software stability updates, and genuine iteration based on creator feedback. Insta360 is a capable company. They make excellent action cameras. Their 360-degree camera lineup is genuinely respected. But this category is different, and the conversations happening in creator communities online reflect that uncertainty. Reddit threads are full of creators saying they are excited but want to wait 6 months for real-world reviews. People are raising questions about autofocus consistency in fast-moving situations, overheating during extended recording sessions, battery performance in cold weather, firmware stability at launch, and whether the long-term reliability will match the impressive launch presentation. These are not irrational concerns. They are the intelligent questions of creators who have spent money on first-generation products before and felt the sting of a camera that looked incredible in marketing videos and delivered inconsistently in actual shooting conditions. I am not saying the Luna Ultra will have these problems. I genuinely do not know yet, and neither does anyone else, because independent real-world long-term testing simply has not happened at scale yet. What I am saying is this: if you are the kind of person who needs absolute reliability for professional work client shoots, paid gigs, once-in-a-lifetime travel moments you cannot reshoot, waiting for the first wave of honest independent reviews is the smartest move you can make right now. Price. Competition. Let us talk about price, because this is where things get genuinely complicated, and where I think a lot of people online are having the wrong conversation. The Luna Ultra's pricing has been one of the most talked about and genuinely surprising parts of this entire story. Insta360's CEO Lu Jingkang directly addressed the leaked pricing figures on Weibo and confirmed them. Approximately $780 for the camera body alone, and around $960 for the bundle configuration. That is not a rumor. rumor anymore. That is straight from the top. And for international markets, including Europe, expect pricing in a similar range. The Chinese domestic price will be lower, but Western buyers are firmly in the premium tier. To put that in perspective, that is significantly higher than what many people initially expected, and it places the Luna Ultra not just against the DJI Osmo Pocket lineup, but approaching the territory of entry-level mirrorless cameras. That is a bold pricing decision, and it demands a bold justification. Here is how that price compares to the alternatives. The DJI Osmo Pocket 3 currently sits around €450. If the rumored DJI Pocket 4 Pro launches at a similar or slightly higher price point, you are still likely looking at a gap of €200 to €300 between the two cameras. For casual creators, people shooting family holidays, simple travel vlogs, or social media content that primarily lives on a phone screen, that price difference is not justified by features they will never fully use. The DJI ecosystem is more mature, more reliable in proven ways, and honestly more than enough camera for a large portion of the market. But here is where the Luna Ultra becomes a genuinely compelling argument. If you are a YouTube creator building a channel, if you are a travel filmmaker who needs optical zoom to tell better visual stories, if you are a solo creator who wants the freedom that the detachable remote system provides, if you are someone who color grades your footage seriously and needs the dynamic range and 10-bit recording to make that grading look professional, then the Luna Ultra is not a luxury. It is a tool that solves problems you have been working around for years. The comparison is not really Luna Ultra versus DJI Pocket 3. The comparison is Luna Ultra versus the combination of a pocket camera plus a separate zoom lens plus a wireless monitoring solution. When you look at it that way, the price starts making a very different kind of sense. You are not paying for a pocket camera. You are paying for an entire creator workflow compressed into one device. Dream camera experiment? So after everything we have covered, the sensor, the Leica partnership, the dual cameras, the Dolby Vision recording, the 4K slow motion, the detachable remote, the first gen risk, and the price, what is the actual verdict? Here is mine, and I want to be direct with you because you spent 14 minutes watching this and you deserve a real opinion rather than a diplomatic non-answer. The Insta360 Luna Ultra is the most ambitious compact creator camera announced in years. It is not trying to be a safer, slightly better version of what already exists. It is trying to fundamentally expand what this category of camera can do, and for serious creators, that ambition is exciting in a way that the market genuinely needed. DJI needed this kind of pressure. The Pocket Gimbal category needed this kind of disruption. And frankly, creators needed something to believe in that was not just another incremental update wearing a new outfit. But, and this is a significant but, ambition is not the same as execution. The spec sheet is extraordinary. The design is polarizing but genuinely bold. The feature list reads like a creative director's wish list. None of that guarantees a camera that works reliably, consistently, and beautifully over 18 months of serious daily use. My recommendation is this. If you are a content creator with an established workflow and you can afford to be an early adopter without it hurting your work, the Luna Ultra is one of the most interesting cameras to take a chance on this year. Buy it, test it hard, and help the rest of the community understand what it truly delivers. But if reliability is non-negotiable for your situation right now, wait. Give it 3 to 4 months. Let the independent reviewers and working creators find the real edges of what this camera can and cannot do. Then make your decision with actual information rather than hype. Either way, the fact that we are sitting here in 2026 genuinely debating whether an Insta360 camera deserves to sit next to DJI at the top of the creator market, that alone is a story worth paying attention to. Because competition drives innovation, and innovation is what pushes this entire craft forward. That is the Luna Ultra. That is the real conversation. And if you made it this far, you clearly care about making better content, so let's talk about that. Drop your biggest question about the Luna Ultra in the comments right now. I read every single one. And if this breakdown gave you genuine value, hitting subscribe takes 2 seconds, and it genuinely helps this channel keep making content like this without any brand deals attached. I will see you in the next one.